VFW is a 2019 Grindhouse action movie, written by Max Brawler, Matthew McArdle, directed by Joe Begos. The movie follows a group of veterans getting together to celebrate. However, their day changes when the VFW hole they're at is put under siege by drug addicts under the command of a ruthless drug dealer. Now they must defend both themselves and a young girl who has something the dealer needs. We begin with a text intro setting up the world and the new drug sweeping the nation, hype. It seems the world is being torn apart from this new drug, but just like Sony and the PS5, the dealers just can't meet the demand. We cut to a drug den where people are getting higher than the elves on the donut. Rhodey, played by Graham Skipper, bursts into the room to inform Boz, played by Travis Hammer, that there's a massive riot going on and the Hypers have found a new buyer. With the knowledge that the new buyer will begin selling come tomorrow, Boz decides to sell whatever he has left and leave town. As everyone leaves, a lone Hyper approaches. Realizing what she's here for, he basically tells her to go fetch. With smashing kill effect down, we hit a title sequence and cut to Stephen Lang playing Fred Paris. We follow him as he drives around picking up a familiar face, that face being Fred Williamson playing Abe Hawkins, who some of you may remember from Zombie Apocalypse Redemption. Finally, there's William Sadler playing Walter Reed, who apparently has just been sleeping in the bed of the truck. Going into the VFW hole owned by Fred, he makes his way out the back door and takes a moment to check on his deuce and a half, complete with M2 Browning. A little bit later, we follow Lizard played by Sierra McCormick, who comes across the body of her dead sister Lucy, the free-falling Hyper from earlier. As night falls, more of Fred's friends show up, consisting of Thomas Z. Zabriskie, played by George Wendt, Doug McCarthy, played by David Patrick Kelly, and used card salesman Lou Clayton, played by Martin Kove, who you may recognize as the leader of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I can negotiate anything, huh? I'm an animal.
Yeah, goddamn snake.
Oops.
Back in the red zone, Lizard comes across Boz and his safe full of hype. Intertwined with this is the arrival of Army Ranger Sean Mason, played by Tom Williamson, who is on leave to go see his wife.
Want to check his ID, man? Maybe his situation is stolen valor.
Remember that safe filled with tons of that valuable drug? Well, the dealers decide to leave the incredibly sturdy safe unlocked and open.
This place is fucked. Plan B. I'll grab the stuff, do what you gotta do.
Stealing the drugs, the Lizard makes a run for it but is spotted making an escape. News travels fast and Boz's top lieutenant Gutter, played by Dora Madison, is none too happy.
Don't say a fucking word.
What did you do?
Boz has seen Dread and puts out a call that whoever brings him Lizard will get all the hype they could want.
A filthy little reptile, you all know her as Lizard, has stolen your fix. Hype, all you want. Enough to liquefy your fucking tonsils to whoever brings me the girl.
Fleeing from the drug-fueled horde, Lizard manages to buy some time via a gate and payphone that somehow stops them. She's spotted by Doug, who goes back inside to inform the occupants.
Hey, there's this fucking girl! Oh! Hey! Hey! Damn it, Lizard, what the hell did you do?
With Rhodey on top of Lizard about to kill her, Fred lets loose, showing off some cool gore effects. One missed axe throw plus 3 missed shotgun blasts result in Tank, played by Josh Ether, escaping. All together, they lift Doug onto the bar counter, tending to his wounds best they can. 2 more thugs burst in, and we get a brief fight, ending with Walter venting some anger. And a good line from Lang.
I got this, kid. This is for Doug, you fuck!
Anybody else want to come in my bar?
Securing the building, they realize just how many are descending upon them. They try to bug out another door, but Z gets ambushed and killed by Gutter. Pressure of the situation starts to hit some of the group, though Fred has another good line.
Secure the doors.
And what do? We just sit here with our thumbs up our
Hey,
asses.
Luke, it's gonna be all right. The smaller force acts while the larger force regroups.
After a few moments and discussing the idea of handing Lizard over, Fred attempts to get a vehicle again. He makes it a bit further before being attacked by Gutter again, and gets a hint of why they're attacking.
Give it back! Give it back!
Getting surrounded, they're saved by Mason aimbotting several of the hypers.
These things are crawling all over the place! Come on!
The questioning of Lizard commences with more good lines from Lang. He points out how Gutter didn't say give her back, but give it back.
The problem is that me and my old friends are probably gonna die tonight unless you help us out to understand what's happening here.
While cleaning up, Lou finds the drugs, which prompts Lizard to tell the truth. They decide to hand off the drugs, but she points out that Rhodey, the man with no head, is Boz's brother.
VFW. What the fuck is that?
Veterans of foreign wars.
Soldiers? Good. Soldiers are good at dying.
The remaining survivors take stock of what they have and begin setting up defenses. The crafting includes improvised weaponry, tramps, and Hawkins gives his machete a glance. Having a bit of a heart-to-heart, Fred explains what the VFW is to him and everyone else.
It means it's home, at least for me it is, and for the rest of these bums.
He points out that Lou fought in Korea and Mason in the Middle East, but this is all their home. The next attack is underway, and it comes with some foreshadowing.
Don't get killed by those antlers. Don't poke your eyeballs out.
Tank leads the charge using a hyper as a battering ram. Soon as the first door is busted open, the horde rushes in. The fighting is tight and well shots can be a little too close at times. It's still well done. Some moments even come off as something you'd expect to see in a zombie film.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, Gordon.
Also, that foreshadowing pays off. With the basic enemies dealt with, the mini-boss steps in to finish the job. They don't fare as well as they did before, with each of them getting knocked aside. Mason tries to take him down, but forgets the roles of Doa. You can't grapple bosses, but they can grapple you. Not even a shotgun blast is enough to take him down. A new challenger approaches in the form of Lizard, who hops on Tank's back. Her surprise attack weakens Tank enough for Mason to finish him off. With Boz regrouping, the protagonists talk about what to do and have a chit-chat leading to one of my favorite lines.
You know what I'd do? With all those funds from that garbage?
Yeah.
I'd buy each one of us a really nice casket. Gold trim, extra cushion, Tempur-Pedic foam. Buy the best money could buy, so that we'd all be cozy. Like two little bears in a glen after we die.
You know what? Your foxhole chit-chat needs work.
Against the group's wishes, Lou heads over to the dealer's HQ in order to negotiate with them. This works out about as well as Karate Kid 3. The death of Lou, followed quickly by the death of Doug, causes Fred to have a breakdown. Lizard tries to shake him out of it best she can, but fails. However, a series of photos from his and others' youth snaps him out of it. So just as morale is at an all-time low, Fred steps out and uses Rally. Getting ready, Hawkins gets his machete and takes a large dose of the hype drug. The hypers get in once more, this time led by Boz and Gutter. After a bit of banter, Fred tosses a brick of hype into the air, which Mason shoots, covering the hypers and dealers alike in a cloud of the drug. This causes the hypers to attack indiscriminately. Hawkins decides to stay behind. While it's probably the drugs he's doing, Williamson probably has it in his contract that he must survive. Meanwhile, Walter is having a bit of fun with power tools. While Hawkins has a 1v1 against Gutter, Boz catches Lizard, who has the remaining drugs. Walter and Mason secure the deuce and a half, facing only a bit of resistance while Fred kills Gutter. Mason holds off attackers, but Walter is still mortally wounded while Fred pursues Boz. So, stuck in a standoff, Lizard uses Fred's lighter she was hiding and with a trick he'd shown her earlier, sets the drugs and alcohol on fire. The flames burn at the dealer as Fred puts some buckshot in him. If that wasn't enough, Walter finishes Boz off. Fred, Lizard, and Mason all head back into the VFW where, holy shit, Williamson is actually dead. Oh no, wait. Yeah, okay, he's dead. On the bright side, one block of hype survived. We get credits highlighting the cast playing the good guys before cutting the regular credits. So that was VFW, and it's a pretty fun film. I won't say it's anything too special, but it's a solid, well-made film with enough good dialogue, quality gore, and visual fights to keep one entertained for the entire runtime. It helps to be familiar with the cast of characters at least a little, or just a general fan of the Grindhouse genre. I would personally put this on a shelf with The Expendables and Red, two other fun films that feature an older cast of heroes that you'd expect for films of their respective genres. Most of the complaints I have are about the bad guys. Neither Boz or Gutter come off as very threatening, more so Boz than Gutter, perhaps if he was more bulked up or toned. He's still a fine villain, just not particularly intimidating, especially when in the same scene as the veterans. Also, the mob of hypers was very inconsistent. The way the cast act and how they're attacked, you'd think the hypers have them surrounded completely. However, whenever they get attacked outside the VFW, there either aren't many hypers present or they come in from off screen. This seems to be done to hide the fact of how few extras they have, but it becomes annoyingly obvious. Finally, while the gore was great, the bodies put into the barricade towards the end of the film were not very passable, though due to the scene's lighting, you may not even notice. I couldn't find the film's budget, but it made an international gross of $23,101. At the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival, the film would win 2 awards for Best Actor and Audience Award. The Best Actor was for the entire main cast of veteran actors. It was also nominated for Best Supporting Actor, William Sadler, at Fright Meter Awards. The interior of the VFW Hole is from a real place, the VFW Hole in Grand Prairie, Texas, specifically Post 2494. It even has several of the Hole's real veterans appearing as extras in the bar early in the film. A shot of the cinema shows a feature called Bliss. This is a reference to a previous film Begos worked on. Apparently Walter's last name and jacket is a reference to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, which is one of the United States' most prominent military hospitals. There's some day-night issues going on at the end of the climax, as well as a bottle of booze changing between scenes, but overall the film kept continuity just fine. The flag inside the hole was displayed incorrectly, as when hung against the wall, the Union should always be in the upper left corner. There also were some allegations leveled against Fred Williamson that he attempted to grope a costume designer and caused a makeup artist to leave the film. However, he was not fired, and I do not know if he is found guilty of these allegations. This film first appeared September 21st, 2019 at Fantastic Fest before finally releasing in the United States 31st of March 2020 on Blu-ray and DVD. Its last release is November 18th, 2020 in the Netherlands. If you're a fan of siege films like Assault on Precinct 13 or just want to watch a simple Grindhouse film that doesn't get too out there, I suggest VFW. It has a solid cast that makes the script work and effects that will keep you entertained throughout.
I had a dream, Fred. You hit every goddamn pothole in town.
That was no dream.
That was the limit, wasn't it?
The limit. Where you from?
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.